Learn English with the story of Anne the Celtic Warrior. Chapter 1. An Enchanting Introduction. Hello, my friend. Welcome to another exciting adventure. My name is Anna, and today I will take you on a journey through time, a story of bravery, mystery, and destiny. But this is not just any story. This is a special way for you to learn English while diving into an incredible tale from ancient Ireland. Imagine a land of rolling green hills, where the mist dances over ancient ruins and the whispers of old gods still linger in the wind. This is where our story begins. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Our main character? Her name is Anna, a breathtakingly beautiful woman with fiery red hair and emerald green eyes. But don't be fooled by her beauty. She is a warrior, strong and fearless, trained to fight and survive. Anna wears a flowing green dress, revealing a delicate black lace beneath, a symbol of both elegance and danger. She belongs to a Celtic tribe, one of the last defenders of ancient traditions. But Anna's peaceful life is about to change. A sacred amulet, an artifact of immense power, has been stolen. Without it, her people are vulnerable. She must retrieve it before it's too late. Are you ready to follow Anna on her quest? Stay with me, and don't forget. Listen carefully, repeat key phrases, and immerse yourself in the story. Let's begin. Chapter 2. The Call to Adventure. The night was cold, and the wind howled through the endless green hills of Ireland. The moonlight bathed the ancient landscape in silver, revealing the towering stones of a sacred druidic circle. The scent of damp earth and burning firewood filled the air, mixing with the distant sound of waves crashing against the cliffs. It was a night of omens, a night of destiny. Standing at the edge of the sacred ground, Anna felt the weight of the moment. She clenched her fists, her emerald green eyes scanning the horizon. Something had been stolen. A powerful amulet, an object her ancestors had sworn to protect. Without it, her people would be defenseless against the growing threats of rival clans and invaders from distant lands. Her long green dress fluttered in the wind, revealing glimpses of the delicate black lace beneath. A combination of strength and elegance, Anna was no ordinary woman. She was a warrior. But even warriors had doubts. She turned to the village elder, a man with deep wrinkles carved into his face like the roots of an ancient oak tree. His eyes, filled with wisdom, met hers. "The amulet must be recovered, Anna," he said, his voice steady. "Only you can do this. You know their land, their ways. If we wait, they will use its power against us." Anna swallowed hard, feeling the weight of responsibility press against her chest. "Where did they take it?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "To the west," the elder replied. to the shadowed forests beyond the river. Anna took a deep breath. She had trained for moments like this. She had fought countless battles. But this time, it wasn't just about victory. It was about survival. She adjusted the dagger at her hip, tightening the strap. The night was long, and the journey ahead was treacherous. But there was no turning back. "I will bring it home," she whispered, stepping forward. The hunt had begun. Chapter 3. The journey begins. The night wrapped around Anna like a dark cloak as she left the safety of her village behind. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of damp earth and the distant smoke of fading fires. The west awaited her, the shadowed forests beyond the river. Her bare feet moved silently across the grass, her senses sharp, trained to detect the slightest movement. Every rustling leaf, every whispering breeze could be a sign of danger. The amulet had been stolen by a rival clan, a group of mercenaries who roamed the land like wolves, taking what they pleased. They were ruthless, but Anna was faster, smarter. As she neared the river, the sound of rushing water filled her ears. The moonlight reflected on the surface, creating an eerie silver path stretching into the unknown. She crouched low, watching. The opposite bank. If the mercenaries had crossed here, there would be signs. And there it was, a trail. Broken branches, deep footprints in the mud. The thieves had passed through not long ago. Anna's heart quickened. She was close. She waded into the icy water, the cold biting at her skin, but she pressed forward. The river's current tugged at her dress, the lace brushing against her thighs as she moved with careful precision. One mistake, one loud splash, and she could alert the enemy. Reaching the other side, she knelt, scanning her surroundings. The forest loomed ahead, dark and dense. Shadows stretched between the towering trees, creating a labyrinth of secrets. If the mercenaries were hiding here, she had to be even quieter than the night itself. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, and the hunt was no longer just beginning. It was unfolding, one heartbeat at a time. Chapter 4. The Infiltration. The forest was alive with whispers. The wind wove through the towering trees, rustling the leaves like a secret conversation between spirits. Every step Anna took was careful, deliberate, her bare feet barely making a sound on the damp earth. She was a shadow among the trees, moving with the silence of a hunter. The scent of smoke reached her nose. A fire. She froze, pressing herself against the rough bark of an ancient oak. They were close. Slowly she peered around the trunk. Through the gaps in the foliage, she saw it, the mercenaries' camp. Tents made of animal hide formed a rough circle around a central fire where a group of men sat, laughing over their stolen spoils. Weapons gleamed in the firelight, blades sharpened and ready. But Anna's focus wasn't on the men. It was on the small wooden chest beside them. The amulet. Her heartbeat quickened, but she forced herself to stay calm. She needed a plan. Rushing in would mean death. No, she had to be smarter. She scanned the area, searching for weaknesses. The men were relaxed, their guard lowered after what they thought was a successful raid. A single sentry patrolled the outskirts of the camp, his steps lazy, his mind elsewhere. This was her chance. Anna crouched low, slipping from shadow to shadow, her movements precise. The scent of burning wood grew stronger, the sound of laughter filling the air. Her fingers brushed against the hilt of her dagger, ready if needed. Closer. Closer. She reached the edge of the camp. The wooden chest was only a few feet away now. She could almost feel the power of the amulet inside. But then, a sound. A twig snapped behind her. She wasn't alone. Chapter 5. The Conflict and the Escape. Anna's breath caught in her throat as the sharp snap of a twig echoed through the night. She spun around, heart pounding, hands tightening around the hilt of her dagger. A mercenary stood just a few feet away, his dark eyes narrowing as he registered her presence. For a brief moment, there was silence, the quiet tension before the storm. Then, he moved. Anna lunged first, her dagger flashing in the firelight. The mercenary barely had time to react before she slashed across his arm, forcing him to stumble back with a grunt of pain. But his cry had already broken the silence, alerting the others. Shouts erupted from the camp. Heavy footsteps pounded against the earth. Anna didn't hesitate. She grabbed the wooden chest and bolted into the darkness. Stop her. A voice roared behind her. The forest became a blur as she weaved between trees, her dress flowing behind her, the amulet clutched tightly to her chest. Branches scratched her skin, but she barely felt them. Her only focus was escape. Arrows whistled through the air. One embedded itself in a tree just inches from her head. Too close. She gritted her teeth and pushed forward, her legs burning as she ran. Ahead, the river. Her only chance. Anna didn't slow down. She leaped into the water, the icy current swallowing her whole. Darkness surrounded her as she was pulled downstream, but she kicked hard, fighting against the cold, against exhaustion. When she finally surfaced, gasping for air, the sounds of pursuit had faded. She had escaped. With the amulet safe in her grasp, she turned toward home. She had won. Chapter 6. The Return and the Revelation. Anna's body ached as she climbed out of the river, her dress soaked, clinging to her skin. The icy water had drained her strength, but the amulet was still in her grasp, warm, pulsing, as if alive. She held it tightly, pressing it against her chest. The first light of dawn painted the sky in shades of pink and gold as she staggered back toward the village. She had done it. The sacred amulet, the heart of her people's power, was safe once more. As she approached the village, figures emerged from the mist. Her people, elders, warriors, children, stood in silence, their eyes wide with wonder. She had been gone for only one night, but her return felt like the stuff of legends. The village elder stepped forward, his face carved with both relief and something else, a deep, knowing look. "You have done well, Anna," he said, his voice steady. "But tell me, did you feel it?" Anna furrowed her brow. "Feel what?" The elder reached out and placed his hand over hers, covering the amulet. A strange warmth spread through her fingers, an energy she hadn't noticed before. "The amulet is powerful," he murmured, "but only in the hands of the one it chooses." A shiver ran down Anna's spine. She had thought the quest was over, but now she saw the truth. This was only the beginning. The village watched in silence as the elder turned to face them, his voice carrying in the morning air. "A new protector has risen." Anna's heart pounded. What had she just become? Chapter 7. A New Destiny. The village remained silent for a moment, the weight of the elder's words settling over them like the morning mist. A new protector? Anna's chest tightened. She had fought to retrieve the amulet, but she had never imagined it would choose her. The warm pulse of the artifact in her hand confirmed what she feared. It was no longer just an object of power. It was bonded to her. "This is not just a relic, Anna," the elder continued, his deep eyes filled with wisdom. "It is a part of our land, our ancestors. And now, it is a part of you." She swallowed hard, her mind racing. She had trained as a warrior. But this was different. Protecting her people was no longer just about strength or skill. It was about something deeper, something she barely understood. The villagers stepped closer, their expressions a mix of admiration and reverence. She was no longer just Anna. She was their guardian now. A young girl with wide, curious eyes reached out and touched the edge of Anna's green dress, her voice barely a whisper. "Will you protect us?" Anna's heartbeat slowed. She thought of the battles ahead, the enemies still lurking in the shadows. She thought of the river, the forest, the fight for the amulet. Every trial had led her here. She knelt before the girl, her emerald eyes steady and full of promise. Always. The village erupted in cheers, their voices rising with the first rays of sunlight. Anna had returned not just as a warrior, but as a legend, and her story was only beginning.